Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It certainly does help the channel. Today we are going to talk about XRP versus Swift, the payments showdown you've been waiting for, plus some other news items from X we'll dive into. But first, let's take a look at pricing. Bitcoin sitting at 82,583, Ethereum at 1,826, XRP at the number 4 spot sitting at $2.09, and Solana sitting at the number 6 spot at $125.64. Everything is down recently. Most of what we're hearing is because of the Trump tariffs. They do believe that is temporary. April 2nd, we're going to hear more about tariffs for sure. So people believe we will struggle through, Wednesday of this week, but then start to climb back up eventually following that announcement as things will kind of fade out. And when I say people, I'm talking about folks that I listen to on X, anybody from Jake Claver to Zach Rector to Michael Markets. A lot of people I follow, and it's kind of the general news I'm hearing. So again, we know we got to be patient. Most folks do not think the bull run is over. People are still calling for $150,000 Bitcoin by the end of this cycle. So I am holding strong. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Everybody has their own unique situation that you've got to be in tune with and comfortable with. So please make sure you're doing your own research. Let's jump over to X as we're going to dive into this XRP versus Swift discussion. And first off, old school versus new blood. Who's winning the payments war? Let's step into the ring. I've got the Bank of International Settlements take on this. Again, make sure you're subscribed for the fight of a decade. Let's look at Smoke Dog's post here on X. He posted this a while back. He's saying, in this video, the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, discusses the 3 key characteristics needed for a third-party currency for cross-border payments. Number 1, messaging. Payment interoperability, XRP addresses this through ISO 20022 compliance, ensuring seamless communication between different payment systems. Sufficient liquidity for cross-border payments. XRP meets this need by providing access to unlimited liquidity, ensuring efficient and fast transactions across borders. 3, global cross-jurisdictional interoperability. XRP achieves this through its established professional relationships with international regulated financial entities, ensuring smooth operation across multiple jurisdictions. These are the very traits that make XRP the best candidate to address the needs outlined by the Bank of International Settlements for global payment systems. Let's take a listen to the video Smoke Dog has attached here. Take a listen.
With all that in mind, how do we deal with this issue of exchange rates and interoperability? How do we get these digital currencies to really just talk to each other?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think when we talk about interoperability, we can see it at least in 3 different levels. So the first level is how we manage domestic interoperability. So how we generate this digital currency solution and make this speak with the other things that are out there in a little bit in the idea of generating a platform so that everyone can connect to that platform and take advantage of the huge network externalities that we can get out of there. The second level is how do we manage cross-border transactions, even within the same currency, and that presents a certain level of challenges there. But when we talk about cross-currency and cross-border, then we face a completely difficult and different environment, and we can see 3 dimensions here. One is the technical dimension, so how we manage to get a system that speaks in a certain cryptographic language to speak with another that speaks another slightly different language. So that is one level of complexity. We need to get the technologies to speak to each other. The messaging element is fundamental. The second dimension, which is much more complicated to solve, so that one, the first one was the easy one, okay? And there is a lot of money that is being put in terms of trying to solve these technical issues of interoperability. Now, the second one is more complicated. It has to do with liquidity. So imagine that you have a pair of currencies for which there is not a complementary demand. You need to go and search for a third-party currency in order to make this settlement actually happen. And this really complicates things. So we need to put pieces of technology that can make more efficiency this use of liquidity so that more transactions can be settled. The third dimension, which is even more difficult than the previous one, is how do we manage to get homogeneity in terms of the policy requirements on different countries. And this becomes even more complicated when we think about, for example, AML-CFT and principles-based policies, and when we think about risk-based policies. We can code things that are very clearly stated, but when we're talking about principles-based regulation, this thing becomes really complicated, especially in an environment, as Tom said, in which 110 nations might have 110 different ways of looking at this. So we need work in these three dimensions: technology, liquidity, and also, and more importantly, probably in the policy side of things. Think about AML-CFT, but also think about privacy. Different countries have very different views on this, no?
There you have it. Great breakdown, great share from Smoke Dog. So, 3 must-haves for cross-border payments: interoperability, speed, cost. XRP's ticking all these boxes, no doubt. XRP is ISO 2002 compliant. Banks love it, and banks just got the go-ahead. They don't have to get any approval. They can get into crypto now. Swift is clunky, taking days and dollars. XRP is done in seconds for pennies. So, the BIS discusses things like this. XRP addresses this through its compliance, and this is key for XRP. So, Ripple has processed $70 billion already on RippleNet. Swift is losing ground, for sure. With Dubai and Brazil already live, XRP is already global. So, if XRP keeps this up, in my opinion, $3 is just the bell. $10 could ring by later this year. And Swift is scrambling to catch up. Is it too late for them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is it going to be XRP or Swift? Who's your champ? Vote in the comments. Do you love a good crypto clash? I always do. Let me know. Stay tuned. Let's cover a couple other news items here. Coming in from Chad Steingraber here. He's retweeting Eleanor Tourette. Chad says, stablecoin bill on the far 5-yard line, first and goal. And Eleanor says here that Rep. Brian Steele tells me that after Wednesday's markup, the Stable Act will be well positioned to mirror up with the Senate's Genius Act following a few more draft rounds in the House and Senate with technical assistance from the SEC and the CFTC. So we are getting very close, ladies and gentlemen, on the stablecoin bill, which is priority number 1. This is getting good. And then lastly here, Panos posts, this letter by Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, is one of the most bullish things you will read about crypto and especially XRP. He says transactions that currently take days would clear in seconds, like we just talked about, and billions of dollars currently immobilized by settlement delays could be reinvested immediately back into the economy, generating more income. Does this remind you of something Panos says? It's what Ripple has been pushing for about a decade, and the XRP ledger is the ideal and most powerful technology that can enable that. There is zero doubt that the future of finance is on chain. Every single financial asset will eventually be tokenized, and Larry Fink has been pushing this strong. You know he wants to be the leader of this with BlackRock. It is coming. Things are changing fast and furious, my friends. Stay tuned, and I will keep you up to date. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It certainly helps the channel, and I'll see you on the flip side.